are your social media routines professionally these days? What do you do daily, weekly, professionally to support clients, but also support your own social media? And I'd like to start with Kate here on this one.
Yeah, so it's hard to be someone who writes about social media, creates on social media, and then also is like a regular person who wants to use social media, because they all really blend. And so I have to set a lot of boundaries. Like I like don't check social media when I wake up or right before I go to bed. Like those are all personal stuff. But when it comes to like, if we take my newsletter, I would say I'm similarly a little bit in a lost time period. I'll still put it on Twitter, but Substack especially. Twitter really, what's the word? Sort of hides those links. They're not getting shown to people. And so I'm hearing you guys talk about like, why are you still trying? I'm like, why am I still trying? So I found the other things I'll do is I'll post it on Instagram. If it's a larger topic, I will make a TikTok about it. I will put on makeup for the day and film myself and make a TikTok. And that can do well sometimes if you get, like, it'll be through search, and people usually aren't going to really, there's no easy way to click on the app. But I found the best thing for my Substack is just rather than using those tools to try and get people's attention when they're doing something else on social media, just really focusing on the community you've already built. And so trying to just speak to the audience that I already have, trying to sort of, it's always great to get responses, but, so much of our growth comes from people like forwarding the email to someone or other Substackers recommending us. And so that's always, one, more effective, but also just more meaningful to get a real person recommending you than to kind of invade someone else's feed and hope you can kind of interrupt their time and get them to come look at your thing.
Yeah. Emily, what are your routines like now?
Definitely like Kate, it's hard to, kind of create those lines of like, I'm on social media to scroll as a human versus I'm on social media to scroll for research purposes versus I'm here to like do work for a client. And so I'm definitely notorious for the, putting other people's businesses before your own. And so sometimes not always keeping up with my social media, but also focusing on engagement. And so less like I need to post these things, but more somebody else has posted this and I can start conversations with them about these things that I find interesting. I don't always need to be the person that's putting the thing out there hoping people engage with me, because I find that a lot of people and businesses are very, I made this content, why is nobody engaging with it? But they're not doing it back. And it really is just a matter of treating people how you want to be treated. And I've also been experimenting more with using close friends features on Instagram. I find that anything I post there gets significantly more engagement than just regular content. So focusing more on some of that content just to kind of keep the DMs open and start talking to more people.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's I've never paid attention to my close friends feature. Like I set it up once years and years and years ago. And I don't think even though I have more close friends, I don't really maintain that. So that's interesting to know that there's that a little bit of boost there. And I think I don't know, it is really hard. I used to say, well, you shouldn't post on social media unless you're actively using social media all the time. But I think now as a social media professional, that's getting harder and harder. And as a content professional, that's getting harder and harder. Eric, what are your thoughts about that? What are your routines and how have you changed them in your thoughts on those routines in the past few years?
Well, first of all, I think it's interesting to hear my routines are wildly different than Kate and Emily, and maybe some of it has to do with age group, right? Because I'm far older, and the way I use social media is much different. So because I have a podcast and a newsletter, and I'm a professor, I have to curate a lot of content. So I use this tool called Feedly. I used to use Google Analytics years ago, or Google
Reader, RIP.
Google Reader.
Yeah.
Years ago, and I use Feedly now. So I have to curate all this content. So I read a ton during the week. So that's a huge routine I have. As far as social media, I really only use LinkedIn anymore. I got kicked off Twitter for some reason. which was unfortunate. I don't know why. I didn't do anything weird, but I get kicked off. So that was unfortunate, but I don't really care because I wasn't really using it professionally anyways. But LinkedIn, I do use a lot. And I think I'm probably the anomaly in that I don't really have a content calendar. I have a strategy in my head, but I don't really have this big, huge plan. But that's worked out pretty well for me over the years. And I just really use it as a tool to connect with people and get to know people, because that's like, unlike other people that might have an agency, it's just me as a consultant. So like, I feel like people are going to hire me because they know me. So like, if they get to know me, they'll like me and they'll hire me. So that's kind of my MO on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So I think that's a little bit different.